Alright, so to get started here, I'm going to go through the process that you might go through to create a bookshelf, as we talked about in one of the previous assignments. So here I have for you a completed bookshelf based on the diagram of what we're looking for. So to get started, I'm going to start off with a polycube. I'm going to move the polycube back. I'm also going to scale it wider and make it less deep. And then we'll make it nice and tall. Okay, and then I'll move it up. Make it a little bit taller so it's about the same size as the bookshelf next to me, roughly. All right, next thing we'll do is I'm going to use the Insert Edge Loop tool as I find that to be the easiest. However, you can use the subdivisions over here within Polycube. You can see that you can modify your subdivisions width and height. So let's say if you were to specify this to 4, let's see, even 5, this would give us 5 vertical lines to work with. If you choose to go that route, that is fine. I'll show you how to do this, and then I'll also show you how to use the Insert Edge Loop tool as well. Let me make my bookshelf just a smidge thinner because this is going to be the back wall of the bookshelf, so we don't need to be super thick. All right, so now what we'll do is we will use our right click and go into edge mode. Now you know when you select an edge, it selects one edge, and if you double click on an edge, it selects the whole loop of edges going all the way around as long as it is continuous. Okay. Also, whenever you see that it is continuous, it means that likely you are working with a fully quadratic set of faces that are touching that particular edge loop. So that's great news. And then I'll actually double click on both of these, and you can see they've selected them on both sides. And instead of using the move tool, I use the scale tool and scale them inward, and this will keep them perfectly spaced as they were first added equally distributed. Now they are equally spaced as I pulled them inward. All right, next thing we'll do is use our Insert Edge Loop tool. So Insert Edge Loop tool. This one is always going to work perpendicular to the line that you have selected. So I'm going to click and hold until I'm happy with the placement. So this is going to give me my bottom lip area right there. I'm going to move my way upward to the next shelf. Now all shelves have thickness, so we're going to put a two plywood right there. Likewise for this shelf right here. Likewise for this shelf right here. And then we'll do one more for the bookshelf shelf up there. And then lastly, we'll have one at the very top. So you can see I've got the outline necessary for the edges of the bookshelf. And then I also have the outlines necessary for creating the actual shelves themselves. Okay. All right. If you haven't already pressed the Q key, press the Q key to turn off the Insert Edge Loop tool so you don't start selecting edges you don't want to. Right click and hold and go into face mode. And with this one, again, make sure you're in Q key mode. And I'm just going to click and hold down my shift key as I'm doing this. I'm going to select all the outskirt faces here. Now I am going to do this all at one time to avoid faces being on top of faces when I go to extrude this. So you can see I've selected all of those on the edges. Okay. Again, I'm going to go on the back side and make sure I haven't accidentally select additional faces like you can see I just did there. So it looks like I'm clean on all different sides and edges. Now again, I don't want to extrude out because then I'm going to have faces touching each other on the inside here. So I'm going to continue selecting these faces going across. And then here's the vertical post. And these faces going across and that vertical post. So you can see I've created or selected the faces for what's going to be the internal 4-cube area as well as the shelves on top. Once again, before I extrude, I want to make sure that nothing else is selected. We'll use the Extrude tool and use the Move tool and pull these out. And that is the easiest way to go about creating yourself a fully quadratic extruded bookshelf that's fully connected. In my response to some of you, I've suggested that you press or toggle between the number 1 and the number 3 key. The number 1 and 3 key will look something like this. We're seeing this curvature occur, which is natural, but what you're not seeing is like shelves collapsing on each other or cubes on top of one another. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this to be a fully extruded, seamless, tight bookshelf, and so that's what it looks like. Hopefully this is helpful.